Welcome to Championship Week, y'all. What's going on, everybody? It's me again, Golden Blue Dude, and if you haven't already, go ahead and hit the like and subscribe button. I do college football videos every single day, so whether you agree with me, want to talk trash with me, or talk trash to me, you're going to enjoy this channel. Let me know in the comments below if y'all want to do a quick live show this evening. I don't know if I'm going to or not, but if you want me to, leave a comment. This week, it's all about the chips, the conference championships. The first one I want to talk about is the Big Ten Championship. Ohio State is having some COVID issues. One of their major prominent wide receivers has tested positive. I don't know the name yet. They haven't released that. But if Ohio State cannot field a team for the title game for the Big Ten, it will not get rescheduled. They will not play, and they will probably not be in the playoffs. In my opinion, I think they should have to stomp Northwestern to get in, but that's probably not the case. Anyways, Ohio State does have a good offense. They average 46.6 points per game. That's fourth in the nation. They allow 23.2 points per game. That's 35th. That's not terrible, but who have they really played? I mean, Indiana's okay. Not much after that. Their quarterback, Justin Fields, 107 for 137, 78%, throwing for 1,407 yards, 15 touchdowns, and 3 interceptions. Running back, Master Teague, 87 carries for 426 yards, 4.9 yards a carry, and 6 touchdowns. Vegas thinks that Ohio State is going to obliterate Northwestern. The line opened up as Ohio State being a 20.5 point favorite. When was the last time that happened? Oh yeah, when they played Indiana. What happened? Well, they did get off to a 35-7 lead, but then blew it and barely won by a touchdown. Didn't learn your lesson, Vegas. Number 14, Northwestern. They are 6-1. 25.3 points per game. That's 90th. That's abysmal. But they allow 14.6 points per game. That's number 2. Their defense wins the games for them. Quarterback Peyton Ramsey, 124 for 210. That's 59%. He's thrown for 1,218 yards, 9 touchdowns, and 6 interceptions. That's bad. That's no other word. That's bad. Running back Drake Anderson, not much better. 62 carries for 256 yards, 4.1 yards a carry, 2 touchdowns. That's better, but not great. If they can control the ball, move the chains, stop Ohio State, Northwestern has a chance. I do think Northwestern covers that 20.5 if the game gets played. And if Northwestern can make this game sloppy, they have a chance to pull the upset. Right now, I still have Ohio State beating Northwestern probably by 10 to 14 points. And yes, getting to the playoffs, even though I don't think they've passed the eye test or have played enough games. But it is what it is. The Pac-12 Championship, also a little strange as well. Oregon did not win the Pac-12 North, but they are playing in the Pac-12 Championship because Washington had COVID issues. They are 3-2. USC, number 13 in the nation. They are undefeated, 5-0. So you would think the line to come out on this game would be, 2 touchdowns, maybe 17 points. Nope. USC is favored by 3 points. Both of these teams have unreliable quarterbacks. Oregon's probably a little bit worse. Tyler Show, 91 for 143. That's 63.6%. He's thrown for 1,389 yards, 11 touchdowns, and 4 interceptions. The quarterback for USC, better. Keaton Slovis, 149 for 212. That's 70.3%. He's thrown for 1,601 yards, 15 touchdowns, and 4 interceptions. I'm pretty confident that USC is going to win this football game, and they will cover the 3 points that they are favored by. But it's 2020. You never know. But in my opinion, lay those 3 points. The Big 12 Championship. Number 10, Oklahoma. They're 7-2 against number 6, Iowa State. They're 8-2. Now, Oklahoma, they score 43.4 points per game. That's 7th in the nation. They allow 22 points per game. That's 29th. They have a better defense than people realize. But their offense is what's very potent about them. Quarterback, Spencer Rattler. 178 for 260. That's 68.5%. 2,512 yards. 24 touchdowns and 7 interceptions. Most of those near the beginning of the season. Running back TJ Pledger, 94 carries for 449 yards, 4.8 yards a carry, and 5 touchdowns. That's one area that Iowa State will hold an advantage. They score 34 points per game. That's 29th. That's the same as what Oklahoma allows. So they're right there as far as Oklahoma's defense versus Iowa State's offense. Iowa State allows 21.3 points per game. That's 27th. That's 2 spots better than Oklahoma. So it looks like Oklahoma has a better offense, and Iowa State has a slightly better defense. Iowa State does have a decent quarterback in Brock Purdy. 196 for 296. That's 66.2%. He's thrown for 2,272 yards, 17 touchdowns, and 6 interceptions. And most of his interceptions have happened at the beginning of the season. The biggest thing is going to be running back Breece Hall. He's ran the ball 222 times this year. Man, that guy's a beast, and he's durable. He's ran for 1,357 yards, 6.1 yards a carry, and 17 touchdowns. If Iowa State's going to win this football game, it's going to be on defense and on the back of Breece Hall. So the matchup I'm looking at is Oklahoma's run defense. It's actually pretty good. They allow 88 rushing yards a game, and Breece Hall averages 6.1 yards a carry. If Breece Hall can have his way, and Oklahoma's secondary is a little suspect, and Brock Purdy can open that up, Iowa State can most definitely win this football game. Oklahoma is favored by 5. And like Ric Flair said, in order to be the man, you got to beat the man. And Oklahoma is favored by 5. But I think Iowa State pulls the Mount upset and does beat the man and becomes the man, well, for this year in the Big 12, and maybe an outside chance of getting into the playoffs. They could make things very interesting. The SEC Championship. Number 1, Alabama, 10-0 against number 7, Florida, who's 8-2. I do not agree with that ranking. That is in protest. They only fell 1 spot after losing to a 3-win LSU team. That's ridiculous. This is not a top 10 matchup. Nevertheless, that's what the ranking says. Alabama scores 49.5 points per game, 3rd in the nation. Florida scores 41.2 points per game. That's 12th. So Alabama actually has a better offense than what Florida does, and that's what Florida is known for. Alabama allows 16.8 points per game. That's 11th. And Florida allows 26.7 points per game. That's 48th. So Alabama definitely has a defensive advantage. The quarterback for Florida, Kyle Trask, 259 for 369. That's 70.2%. He's thrown for 3,717 yards, 40 touchdowns, and 5 interceptions. Yes, those are Heisman numbers, but can one man beat Alabama? I think not. But they do have running back Pierce, 93 carries for 441 yards, 4.7 yards a carry. He's going to have to do better than that against Alabama, and 3 touchdowns. Let's look at Alabama's offense. Of course, Mac Jones, 217 for 284. That's 76.4%. Boom, that's better than Trask. He's thrown for 3,321 yards. Nope, that one's not better. 27 touchdowns. Nope, that's definitely not better, but only 3 interceptions. Boom, that's better than Kyle Trask. Their running game, way better. Najee Harris, 183 carries for 1,084 yards, 5.9 yards a carry, and 22 touchdowns. The line opened up as Alabama a 17-point favorite. It's actually fallen down to 13.5. Grab that line now. Lay them points. Alabama is going to beat Florida by at least 3 touchdowns. Is there something that I'm missing? Florida just lost to LSU, right? I didn't dream that, right? Alabama is the number 1 team, and they have been dominating people, right? I haven't been dreaming that, right? Why is the spread only 13.5? I don't know. Lay the points, go to sleep happy, and have good dreams. The AAC Championship. This could be an underrated, good championship. We have number 23, Tulsa, who's 6-1, against number 9, again, in protest, Cincinnati, 8-0. Cincinnati keeps falling, even though they haven't lost a single game. Tulsa averages 27.7 points per game. That's 70th. They do not have a good offense. Their quarterback, Smith, 108 for 187, 57.8%, 1,434 yards, 11 touchdowns, and 6 interceptions. Bad, bad, and bad. The running back, Prince, a little bit better. 71 carries for 356 yards, 5 yards a carry. They don't have a good offense. Cincinnati, they average 40.9 points per game. That's 13th. Their defense is also good, though. They allow 15 points per game. That's 5th. Their quarterback, Ritter, 143 for 215. That's 66.5%. Nothing spectacular. He's thrown for 1,821 yards, 16 touchdowns, and 6 interceptions. So he takes care of the ball. Their running back, Dokes, 137 carries for 660 yards, 4.8 yards a carry, and 7 touchdowns. So they do get it done on offense, and they do get it done on defense. The line opened up Cincinnati as a 14-point favorite, and I think Cincinnati takes care of business and beats Tulsa by at least 2 touchdowns, and might make things interesting for the playoff committee if some other things happen. Yes, they need help. I don't think they should need help, but they do need help. The first thing they need to do is beat Tulsa, and I think they do that. The Sun Belt Championship has all of a sudden become super interesting. Number 19, Louisiana, who's 9-1, beat Iowa State, first game of the year, against number 12, Coastal Carolina, who's 11-0. Oh yeah, Louisiana's only loss is to Coastal Carolina. Coastal Carolina has actually one of the best resumes I've seen. They have 5 wins over teams that have winning records, and a lot of those teams 1 or 2 losses. For Louisiana, they have an okay offense. They score 33.9 points per game. That's 30th. And they allow 21.8 points per game. That's 28th. So, very balanced. Their quarterback, Levi Lewis, 165 for 275. That's 60%. Not great. Throwing for 2,128 yards, 17 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. Their running back, Mitchell, 122 carries for 751 yards, 6.2 yards a carry, and 7 touchdowns. Louisiana does have a good running game. Now let's look at Coastal Carolina. 37.5 points per game, that's 19th, and allow 18.7 points per game, that's 16th. So, better on the offense and defense. These two teams have already played, and Coastal Carolina won by 3. Quarterback for Coastal Carolina, Grayson McCall, 151 for 218. That's 69.3%. That's actually really good. Throwing for 2,170 yards, 23 touchdowns, just two interceptions. Why is he not in the Heisman race? Their running back, C.J. Marble, 162 carries for 844 yards, 5.2 yards a carry. So, Louisiana does have a little bit of a better run game, but Coastal Carolina has a better quarterback, and they have a better defense. I think that outweighs the better run. And the running game isn't a huge gap. Coastal Carolina opens up as a 4-point favorite. Lay the 4 points. Coastal Carolina coasts into an undefeated season plus a conference championship and could possibly make things interesting for the playoff committee as far as a New Year's Six bowl bid if they decide to leave Cincinnati out. Maybe it would be Cincinnati versus Coastal Carolina. Who knows? Last but not least, the ACC Championship. When was the last time Notre Dame won a national championship? Back in 1988. Wait a minute. Back in 1988, that's when the trifecta happened. The Lakers, the Dodgers, and the Irish won their respective championships. Well, guess what? The Dodgers and the Lakers have already done it. Now it's up to the Irish. They're undefeated. They're in the ACC Championship, and they're taking on Clemson, who they've already beaten. Number 3, Clemson. They score 46 points per game. That's 5th in the nation. Great offense. And they allow 18.3 points per game. That's 15th. Good defense, but not elite. Trevor Lawrence, their quarterback, was a Heisman contender, but COVID got him, and he had to sit out for 2 games. He's 176 for 250. That's 69.2%, so he slid under 70%. Throwing for 2,431 yards, 20 touchdowns, just 3 interceptions. Travis Etienne, the running back, 148 carries for 758 yards, 5.1 yards a carry. I mean, that's not bad numbers, but people were expecting him to be better than that. Let's look at Notre Dame. They average 37.7 points per game. That's 18th. That's not bad, actually. That's top 20. And they allow 17.1 points per game. That's 12th. So a better defense than Clemson. Ian Book, their quarterback, 181 for 286. That's 63.3%. Throwing for 2,382 yards, 15 touchdowns, just two interceptions. And the running back, Kyren Williams, he's pretty good too. 180 carries for 1,011 yards, 5.6 yards a carry, and 12 touchdowns. The quarterback, the check mark does go to Clemson, but it's not as big of a gap as you think. And in the running back position, I would actually give the check mark to Notre Dame with Kyren Williams. He averages more yards per play, and he chews up more clock and allows Notre Dame to control the game more. That's exactly what they did to Clemson the last time they played them. If Brian Kelly sticks to his game plan, chews clock, moves the chains, controls the clock, controls the game, the Irish will win this game. If they can do that, they will win this ball game. Notre Dame definitely has a better defense. The run game is a big gap, guys. Notre Dame rushes the ball for 235 yards per game. Clemson allows 158 rushing yards a game. That's the same thing that Notre Dame exploited the first time. The running game. Clemson's defense not quite as good as Notre Dame's. The line opened up in favor of Clemson. They are favored 10.5 points. I'm going to take Notre Dame in the upset to knock Clemson out and to cause some chaos and to allow some teams to get into the playoffs that people were not considering. Possibly Texas A&M, possibly Iowa State, possibly Cincinnati. And if Ohio State can't play their game, that opens up another spot. So guys, I'm betting on chaos. Chaos is gonna happen. I'm picking the upset in the ACC Championship. Notre Dame over Clemson. That's all I got for you for this show. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll see you on my next show.